At 5, the controversial release of a movie about one of Britain's most notorious prisoners. Bronson is the story of Charles Bronson, who was jailed in 1974 for armed robbery. He's been there ever since because of bad behaviour inside. And that's perhaps why certain people argue that Bronson's notoriety shouldn't be celebrated in the form of a film. However, Bronson stars this man Tom Hardy in the lead role, which is something he's never done before.
I've signed with one of those uber, hyper, agencies, the turbocharged agencies in the States, which is great. And they're working really hard, and they've grabbed me a load of stuff. They've gone out there and got me work. Yeah, it's amazing.
At 4, have you ever stopped to wonder why Matthew Horne decided to sink his teeth into vampire killers? Well, apparently the Gavin and Stacey star loves horror movies and has done ever since he was young. And one of his favourites was The Omen 2.
There was a moment when I was about 11, I think, and I watched The Omen 2, and it had such a huge effect on me. It was pretty horrifying, the opening sequence, and so that's what got my interest in horror films. And I suppose in my teens, that idea of watching a film that you weren't allowed to watch because you weren't old enough for the certificate, I think it was that sort of clandestine viewing of a movie that you weren't supposed to be watching, which was really attractive.
Starring Horne and his wingman James Corden, Lesbian Vampire Killers comes out in the UK later this month. Now at 3, we all knew that Michael Jackson's This Is It tour sold out all 50 dates at the O2 Arena pretty quickly, but we didn't know that people were picking up tickets at more than 1,300 per minute. It took just over 4 hours to shift nearly 400,000 tickets, and the King of Pop is believed to have shed tears of joy when he heard the news that he's still as popular as he ever was. At 2, it seems being a mum is a full-time job for pretty woman Julia Roberts, but she's managed to find the time to sneak off around the world to promote her new film, Duplicity. But the Oscar winner says that while she's happy with her work life, she's more than happy with her personal life.
I'm the lead mom in my house. That keeps me pretty happy, pretty fulfilled, and I feel like I've worked enough that I'm content in my creative world and just blissful in my personal world. And so this is just a great extension of, something that's never ended for me.
And at 1, Comic Relief has enjoyed a record-breaking year, raising £57 million so far, with more donations expected to flood in. The total raised by the end of last night's show easily topped the $40 million collected in 2007, and it's the most money ever raised in the 21-year history of Red Nose Day.